Hey, aloha everyone. Michelle Melendez here with Blossom Inner Wellness and StandTogetherHawaii.com. And today we're going to be talking about gold and silver and why it's really, really important to invest in some to protect your assets. And I have Bill and Justin from Transworld Metals Ltd. And these guys are amazing. They're the only people, they're only retailer in Hawaii to work with directly with the United States Mint, the only ones. So welcome so much, you guys. I'm so glad to have you on.
Aloha, Michelle. Thank you for having us. It's a beautiful day here in Hawaii. So it's like I say, we're trying to reach out to as many people in Hawaii to help them in regards to precious metals as we can. Uh, a lot of
Absolutely.
folks, a lot of folks don't know how to invest in precious metals. A lot of folks have never invested in precious metals, and most folks are in a situation where their investment broker generally only trades in paper assets. And so when it comes to diversification as far as gold and silver, platinum, palladium, or even the strategic metals, they're unversed in it, and so they don't go there. And so therefore, the people who would like to go into those areas don't get an opportunity to do so because they're not working with somebody that deals in hard assets like we are.
And including the fact that you guys work directly with the Mint and there's no another party involved, which is really, really impressive. I'm really thankful for that because I've been working with you for a number of years now. And I do want to do a quick shout out to our sponsors so we can just do a little bit of that. If you guys are interested in lowering your taxes, if you're interested in licensing your biometric data, your face, your image that's being used by big tech, if you're interested in buying Bitcoin tax free, you got to check out aceofcoins.com. They support this channel and do amazing work with their clients. ACEOFCOINS.com, aceofcoins.com. And also a big shout out to the Voice of Kona Radio. This is also on 100.5 FM here on the Big Island. So having said that, let's get started. First of all, how long have you guys been doing this?
Transworld Metal started 38 years ago. We're a California company. We're doing business in Hawaii as a foreign company. We're registered here, and the advantage is that we're under the auspices of California laws for taxation. So there is no state excise tax for us with clients that we sell metal to. So as long as the sales are above $2,000, there is no tax. So we report to no one in relationship to it. If you buy from an outfit outside of Hawaii, they're going to tax you. They're going to report it to their state. They're going to report it to the state of Hawaii. The IRS will somehow or other become involved because of the reporting, and it'll be known what assets you're holding. With us, there is nothing like that. So from that standpoint, we save folks 4.167% or whatever they adjust the tax to as far as state excise tax.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, that's really huge. I remember when I first met with you, you told me a story of a woman and you were telling her they're going to charge you taxes. And she said, no, they're not. No, they're not. They told me they wouldn't. And they did. And I can't remember how much money she had to pay
It
in
was like
taxes
a
for
little over $1,600
just in taxes alone. So that's a
just in
huge
tax.
saving. So people could be putting that in buying more silver or
Correct.
gold, whatever they're doing. So right now the gold is up from when I bought it. So I'm super excited about that. And first of all, let's tell everybody your website. I'm going to say this website throughout the interview, but what's the website to go to, or how would they contact you?
The website is transworldmetalsltd.com.
Great.
In terms of a phone number, 310-499-8611. And
Great.
so, like I say, we'll work with anybody. And it's a situation where our goal is to help folks with their financial portfolio diversify, because it's okay to have stuff and money in stocks. It's okay to have money in bonds, but not everything. I mean, you need
Mm,
something in hard, tangible assets that you're actually holding yourself that no one can touch except for you. And when you need it, it's there.
hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's something solid, it's something liquidable, and it's something for your future, for your legacy, for your grandkids, for your kids, that's there. So no matter what happens with the stock market or what happens with the bond market or what happens domestically or globally in terms of catastrophes that are going on out there, and we're facing World War III on across the board on a number of
Yes,
fronts,
we are.
from China over Taiwan and the semiconductors, with the Middle East, with where we're backing Israel or Ukraine, and it's a situation where good versus evil in this world, and I've never seen anything like this since going back to World War II. And a lot of folks in this country, they're saying this or protesting that, have no idea what what their forefathers or ours or my dad or anybody fought for back then, but it's coming around again.
That's
So,
absolutely correct. Let's talk a little bit about the economy right now, because I know people are going, what the heck is going on? So what would you guys say? And you guys are following this on the front line. So what would you guys say about that?
well, the economy is what it is due to a number of things. I mean, the overspending has created a situation where they've continued to print dollars. When they continue to print dollars, it causes inflation. The inflation causes the prices to go up. The prices going up causes a situation where people making a decision: do I buy food or do I pay my insurance, or do I buy medicine or do I buy food for my family? Which direction do I go? And putting food on the table is going to do it, win every time. But the fact of the matter is the inflation is so high, in some areas it's 40, 60%, depending on what product it is. They've removed a lot of the breadbasket of goods that have normally been in the inflation breadbasket that they take, so therefore the numbers look lower. But when the woman goes to the market to buy food, or somebody goes to put gas in the car, there it is. People can't afford to travel. People
Mhm.
can't afford to eat. People can't afford the high cost of uh, anywhere from utilities to, look at what's happening with mortgages right now, or housing. You got millions of people that come into this country, and they've created a housing shortage. And
That's
so
right.
where those guys that are in a situation where the concept is give them $25,000. What about the folks, to buy a house? What about the folks that live here? What about the folks that just got ravaged by Hurricane Helene, that are actually hurting? And FEMA is saying now, well, we're out of money because that money got diverted to go to illegal immigrants.
That's right.
Uh,
That's right. Somebody just sent me something that said they're offering $750 for the victims in North Carolina, and they did the same exact amount to Lahaina, but yet immigrants are coming over and they're getting a $5,000 debit card. Now, I don't know if that's true. Somebody sent me that this morning. I have not researched it, but if it's true, that is disgusting, and that is where our tax dollars goes. And I did an interview yesterday, or was it the day before? I think it was the day before, with Captain Matt, because we were looking at the cause of the Maui fire, which is also just pathetic. And you guys got to check out that video with Captain Matt. And he's saying stop funding the system. And I'll just say that that's all I'm going to say around that issue. But Justin, you were talking something right about something before we started. So I'd love for you to share what you shared.
Yeah, with gold just making history, it's like the great gold rush of 2024. If you look at what's happening overseas and what we're doing as far as militarily, if you look at everything as a big picture, I mean, silver is over $32, gold's hit historic highs. I mean, they're at some point, if we start bombing oil fields with Israel, the gold's going to be tied with the oil. So if oil goes up, there was an article on CNN, gold could elevate as far as overseas, what we're dealing with. This is, I mean, like World War III. and with metals moving, I mean, copper is at an all-time high. Demand from central banks for gold. I mean, these guys are buying gold like as much as they can. These guys have access to the best thinkers, the best engineers, the best computer systems. I mean, the best that there is in this world, and they're buying gold by the ton. These central banks demand for China for gold and for metals. I mean, these guys are buying it either through jewelry, through coins, through bars. These guys have vending machines where you could actually buy metals through the vending machines, if I'm not mistaken. And they're telling their people, like, this is where it's at. So, I mean, it's like the greatest time in history for precious metals. Our industry is 200 and something billion right now. What they're projecting the next 6 years for the precious metals industry alone to basically be valued at over 500 billion. So as far as what we're looking at for our industry, it's going to double in market cap valuation. Gold, silver, platinum, palladium, it's real money, it's sound money, it's tangible assets, it's wealth that you could pass on from generation to the generation. So like, it's real money. Everything else is credit. And where things are going, whoever has the gold and silver, it's like, hey, that's who's going to be sitting pretty in this situation, as far as just to protect your financial well-being, to protect your financial future, to protect your family's financial future. Metals is where it's at. And a lot of these investors are just looking for protection. We had a lady call us, she wanted safety. We're like, well, hey, we're on a boat with throw your life jacket. She's like, no, I want silver. I want safety. I want security. And this is a lady from the Hilo side of the island. She couldn't even move the package that we delivered because she bought a bunch of 1,000-ounce bars, and these 1,000-ounce bars are about 70 pounds. It's a brick of silver.
Wow.
She couldn't even move them. And this is a little old lady from Hilo. So it's like, it's amazing. Some of our neighbors, one of our neighbors bought like $50,000 worth of silver, and he's like, hey, I'm going to back my truck up to your house and we're going to unload it. And I'm like, no, we place an order for you. We make a trade. Where we're going to have it delivered. That's how it works. So it's like, even our neighbors are like, hey, you guys are the only ones for the US Mint. Like, I want to buy from you guys. So it's been pretty interesting, the demand, some of the stories. Some of these people here in Kona are actually buying pre-64 coinage, which is 90% silver coins, just to barter. And
That's
the
right.
fact that they can't use their debit card, cash is worthless. I mean, it comes to the barter system where people are actually, because we got friends in agriculture, we got farmer friends here on the Big Island. We're pretty tuned in. We spend our whole lives here, pretty much. And some of these investors are so savvy, they're breaking down these coins, like the quarters that are 90% silver, and saying, well, what's the value of this? Hey, could I trade this, at these farmers markets, privately, so that was kind of interesting when some of these investors wanted to buy pre-64 coinage just to barter.
So they're buying them in full on bags.
Like 750 ounces.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's random whether it's dimes, quarters, nickels, 50-cent pieces, quarters. But it is 90% silver. It's all pre-64. And Justin's right about the other countries. They in China and in India, they're advertising on TV for their people to buy gold and silver. Okay. And
That's right.
in China is a situation where those guys are no dummies. Um, what their goal is in the big picture is to amass the largest amount of precious metals that they can. The head of the Shanghai Exchange came out about a year ago, and then he disappeared. But he made the statement that China was going to start hoarding silver as a strategic metal for national defense and national security based on silver strand technology, which is the new technology that they're using in hyperspace for all the there's hyperspace hyperglide vehicles, and there's hyperspace missiles. There's a lot of hyperspace technology going on, but the communication from deep space to even 12 miles deep into the trenches to a submarine is crystal clear with silver strand technology. So it'll make fiber optics to the Stone Age. And he actually came forward and said China will start hoarding silver because of this. Well, that was enough for the Chinese government because he was gone, and who knows where he went. The previous disappearance of one of the heads of the Shanghai Exchange, and the Shanghai Exchange is the trading of precious metals in China. It's the government. The previous head of the Shanghai Exchange came out and made the statement that China had the best national security of anyone. And he was asked, well, how is that? And he made the statement, well, if it comes down to it, we can do what North Korea did. North Korea went to the IMF and they wanted money and they got laughed out. Hey, you got no collateral, you have no agriculture, you got no manufacturing, you got no nothing. Okay, so goodbye. And what they did is they went and nationalized all the people's gold and silver, essentially taking it away from them, and went back to the IMF, put it on the table. Here's our collateral, give us our loan, and got their loan. Okay, which is what this guy at the Shanghai Exchange said, that China was guaranteeing their national security. Well, he was gone right away because all of a sudden he spilled the beans in regards to, hey, everybody buy gold and silver because you're spending your money and you can accumulate it. We'll get it later, you know. And so those things are there. But for, you know, folks here in Hawaii, it's a situation where gold and silver are protection against, you know, devaluation of the dollar and market decline. Okay, it's a protection against inflation. It's insurance policy. Like you buy insurance for your car, for your life, for your house. What are you doing for your money? You know, and most folks don't think about that because, you know, they look at the situation, well, their money's their money, but they've been printing so much money that printing of the money has caused the value of the dollar to go down even more, probably 20% in the last couple of years, which causes the retirement accounts to go down 20%. And folks don't even realize it because they think, okay, I put that money away for retirement. And now they're coming after the retirement money for capital gains that you might have later on down the line, just like they're looking at real estate from that standpoint and trying to tax on it because, hey, where else do we get money? We're having a hard time getting money out of, you know, blood out of a rock, and the American people aren't wanting to give us a whole lot of money. What's the new way to get it? So this is their new way to get it. So, you know, as far as, you know, folks looking at their portfolio for retirement, it's different having a hard asset like gold, silver, platinum, or palladium than it is having the S&P 500 or mutuals or stocks or bonds. Then there's the outlook that with an economic collapse, what's everybody going to do? If the stock market crashes, what are these people going to do? They're going to be in a situation where they have nothing. They worked all their lives, they put it away. And that's why we're rolling over 401ks and IRA accounts like crazy, from the standpoint that they're taking that money, they're buying gold and silver with money they already have. They're not having to dig in their pocket to get it. They're actually making an IRS retirement account transfer from one approved retirement account to another. And by virtue of that, it's not a taxable event. And so therefore they can own gold, silver, platinum, palladium
instead of in dollars from their retirement.
Instead of paper. So
it's fantastic.
It's a situation where, you know, it's a lot of folks look at it in preference to the stock market, to the bond market, to the mutuals, right on down the line. But it's protection.
I love it. I love it. So this is, if you guys are listening right now, it doesn't matter if you're on Hawaii, he can do this anywhere, wherever you're at. And I want to do your website again and your phone number again, and then keep going with this conversation. So go ahead and share your website again, because if people who are listening on the radio, or again, if you're on YouTube or Rumble watching this, this is where to find these guys, that you'll be able to turn your retirement account over without being taxed into a more stable money source. So share your website and your phone number one more time.
Yeah, for everybody listening, feel free to go to transworldmetalsltd.com. If you wanted to give us a shout, if you have any questions, if you got a personal collection, 310-499-8611. You can also find us on Instagram at transworldmetals. And, we're just here to help. We take care of people. We earn business the old-fashioned way. We just help people. We're just mom and pop local business, celebrating 38 years in business. And we just take care of people, and a lot of business for us has been word of mouth, friends, referrals, and we just follow up with what we say. We do what we say we're going to do. And, where are we delivering? The nice thing about this is we just make a trade, and, someone's got the option to do this USPS, UPS, FedEx. If someone's in the mainland, typically it's about a 7-day turnaround before they actually physically have the metals in their hand. We've dealt with about 10-day turnarounds here on the Big Island. So if somebody's on the Big Island, somebody's in Oahu, we've typically dealt with about 7 to 10 days, depending on if anything strange going on in the weather, because a lot of the people, they're like, well, I want it and I want it now, or they want to be able to purchase it over the counter. We have 2 brokerage agreements with 2 local jewelry stores here on the Big Island. So if somebody would like to go to a physical jewelry store, we're working with Lehua Jewelers in Kamahuela, and we're working with Kona Diamond Company at the new $100 million Safeway shopping center. So, that's the nice thing about us, as far as what we have to offer. It's not something that somebody is looking for as far as a need. It's something that they want, and a lot of these investors, they want protection. They want a way to hedge against inflation. They want to protect themselves and their family financially, and some of these stories, it's like, wow, we had an investor, I think he was on Oahu, lost like $60,000 in his retirement account. He was with the Department of Education for over 20 years.
Man.
We rolled him out of what he was in a paper account, and then we rolled him into silver, and I was honest with them, and dad was honest with them, like, hey, we can't make you that money back, but like, if we focus on the big picture where things are going, in our humble opinion, silver could be classified as a strategic metal. The last critical minerals report that was released, silver wasn't classified as a strategic metal. And it's been several years since they last released the critical minerals report. If they did it now after the COVID, I mean, things are getting interesting. Some of the major players in our industry are predicting triple-digit silver. So yeah, it's a good time to look at, like, the future and where things are going, and where is your money vested in? Where is your money placed? Is it in a paper account? Is it a paper market? Is it the S&P 500? So yeah, a lot of folks just, looking to protect themselves. And it's interesting. Some folks are reaching out to us on Instagram. Some folks are calling us. Some folks are going into the jewelry stores. Some folks are doing inquiries on the websites. And it's just going from there, so
Awesome.
it's been some
That's
good times,
But that protection is key. The protection for a retirement account
yeah.
is key also, because there's an advantage also in relationship to buying increments in a retirement account, whether it's a 40, a solo 401k, whether it's a Roth IRA or traditional IRA, because in every instance, when you take distributions from a retirement account, okay, they're going to send you a check from every other type of 401k or IRA account. And as soon as they send you a check, they're going to 1099 you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is a situation where you can take distributions in asset, which means that if you buy in increments of 10-ounce bars or 1-ounce rounds or American Eagles, whether they be gold or silver, and you take your distribution in dollar value as far as
I think I might
the,
have one.
the bullion or bullion coin, okay, you're in a situation where they send you that physical coin or
Mm-hmm.
that physical bar. They're not sending you money, so therefore they are not sending you a 1099.
That's fantastic. I
So
thought I
what
had a
it comes
coin.
so what it comes down to is that it's up to you when you sell it to say, hey, I made a killing on this, and here's how much money I made, so I want to report it and pay my taxes. Or I never sold it. I gave it to my son, or I gave it to my daughter, or I gave it to my grandson. It's like legacy assets. And so therefore there never is a taxation on it. And a lot of folks don't realize that, but that's very, very real. So in terms of that protection going all the way around, not only is it protecting you against paper assets and the paper dollar, and the paper dollar is probably worth like 2 cents right now, if it's worth that.
Yeah.
Since 1913, when the Federal Reserve took over, all it's done has gone downhill to where it's the right hand portion of a bell-shaped curve where it just goes down, 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 down. Now it's flattened out. That's where we're at right now. And people think that, hey, I've got X amount of dollars, but so what? What's that dollar worth?
Exactly.
When it comes down to hard assets, like, and there's only a number of hard assets. You've got real estate, which is not very liquidable. You've got precious metals, which is liquidable, and you've got art. That's just why we've opened art gallery, HawaiianArtGallery.com. But it's one of those things where those hard assets are tangible and they're saleable. So those things protect folks in terms of hard times, uh, unstable economies, whether it be domestic or globally, or any other problems that are happening in terms of paper asset markets collapsing. And look, I mean, the stock market's up there and everybody's like, Yahoo, but gravity applies sooner or later to everything.
Yep.
And these metals have been money for 6,000 years. When everything goes the way of the dodo, they'll still be money. They might be the only money. And that's why, like, you look at um,
Well, I just want to share too that I actually started buying from you. I believe it was 2020. I think it was 2020 was my first when I first reached out to you. And it was because my friend of ours, we were driving and he goes, we were talking about silver and we were like, we got to get our money into silver and buy some silver. And we went to a shop where you guys used to be and you weren't there. And I can't remember how we found your phone number again, but I found your number I was on the Kona side and I started buying from you, and I've been buying from you ever since from there. And the thing is, I had just a small chunk in the stock market, and it started to go down. And I know that when you're doing stocks, you're supposed to hold for a long time because it's going to go up and down and blah, 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 blah. But that just freaked me out because I'm like, this is not fun. I don't like this. I don't like this game here. So I actually pulled the money that I had in there and put it into the silver because I was just like, I don't want to sit there and watch this go up and down. This is anxiety here. And that's when I reached out to you guys and started dealing with silver, and I've loved it ever since because it comes right to me, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I was trying to find a coin. I think I still might have a coin in a different pocket, but you guys have samples that you can show people, and then I want to talk also about the mint and how you guys are the only ones in Hawaii that directly work with the mint. Nobody else does that. I want to talk about that, but you guys have samples, and I'm going to look for my coin if I still have it in here.
okay, we are the only, like I say, we're bulk dealers for the United States Mint, which is the Department of the Treasury, and we are bulk numismatic dealers for the Department of the Treasury, United States Mint. And we are, like I say, the only ones in Hawaii. We are also the only dealer for the Western Australian Perth Mint in the state of Hawaii. We're the only dealer for the Holy Land Mint of Israel in the state of Hawaii. We're the only dealer for the Osborne Mint, the Mason Mint in the state of Hawaii. So, but I mean, we work directly and we can get product directly from the Canadian Mint, the New Zealand Mint, and any number. We're also the only authorized dealer for the Mexican Mint in the state of Hawaii. These are,
I don't know if you can see the gold Libertad.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
This is out of a 5-piece gold Libertad set, which is a 1 ounce. That's a 1 ounce. There's a half ounce, a quarter ounce, a 10th ounce, and a 20th ounce that comes in a set. There were only 200
Yeah.
of these made.
Yeah, I have some of those. So
Some of the
awesome.
investors just love Libertads. As far as the mintage on the Banco de Mexico Libertads is so low in comparison to US Mint coinage. A lot of the investors, as far as have come our way, some of them are looking for stuff that's just low mintage where it's not mass produced, so that's the nice thing about us is we could pretty much get anything under the sun. We're also PCGS dealers as far as for coin grading, also NGC dealers for coin grading. Some of these investors, they just want to get a return or put their money to work. Every dollar's got a job type of a thing, where some of these investors are buying monster box coins, and they come in boxes of 500, as far as 500 coins or 1 ounce coins. And then they're saying, hey, flip through. And if I could get like a MS70 or MS69, let's go to your grading guys and grade them. And what we're seeing typically on grading, once you get some pristine scores, anywhere from 15 to 20% return on your investment. So they're taking money that they already have, investing it into metals, going one step further, getting them graded, and then they have the physically graded coin. It's slabbed, it's serial numbered, it's logged in the register, and they're just saying, hey, I put my money to work, I made a little more money with it. So some of these investors are pretty savvy, that those are the lengths that they're going to. The nice thing about us, it's a two-way market. Whatever we sell, if somebody wants to basically cash out and maximize profits, if silver goes up, gold goes up, they're like, hey, yeah, I want to do some home repairs, put a new kitchen in, bought like a couple $100,000 worth of silver. Silver goes up. Hey, I'll sell a portion of it. Where are we going with it? And that's the nice thing about us is we could sell for any investor who would like to cash out, whether it's scrap jewelry, scrap gold, scrap silver. You know, we're aligned with one of the largest refineries in America. And we're looking at 24-hour settlements as far as once the metals are received. If somebody would like to cash out, that's the nice thing about us. It's a two-way market. Not only are we going to sell it to you, um, but we got somebody that will buy it back too. So yeah, I mean, where things are going, it's sound money. It's liquidable. It's a tangible asset. It's money you can put in your hand. In our industry, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Unless it's in a custodian retirement account. With one of our trust companies, because Transworld Metals Limited, we're broker dealers for 4 trusts in America. So I mean, we're one of the trusts. What they're like 40 something billion equity.
52.
Wow. With the COVID, these guys' market valuation was somewhere like 30 something billion. Now, after the COVID, their valuation for equity trust is 52 billion. So it's like amazing as far as what's happening in our industry, and where things are going. And some of these analysts like Citibank, JP Morgan Chase, who else was it? There was a lot of these analysts were predicting gold to go to $3,000 an ounce. And if you look at where it's what threshold it's at, it's like it's not too far away, and
Yeah, that's
they're
right.
predicting $3,000 an ounce gold by next year, and it's already kind of pressing the limit, kind of testing the waters this year. We still have 3 months left in this year, so it should be interesting to see, like, hey, how do we close out the year with gold? How do we close out the year with silver? Look at what copper's doing, as far as copper is like moving, so yeah, it's like the greatest time in history for precious metals, for sound money.
And
Absolutely.
Justin was talking about somebody, on Oahu that rolled into silver. And the thing is like, we're not going to tell you and promise you this is where it's going to. We know where it's headed. We know that based on all supply and demand factors, based on the reality of the situation, based on the growth in industry, that there is a deficit of silver out there in relationship to solar vehicles, solar panels, to electric vehicles, to everything else, to the silver strand technology. But the
Yep.
thing is that while at the same time we did not promise this person that we could win their money back, the fact of the matter is that some of those people are in at $15 an ounce in silver, okay, at the beginning of COVID. And now it's at $32 an ounce, which is a parallel of sorts to the 2008 to 2012 recession, when the 401ks and the IRAs were down 35 to 65% respectively. And folks rolled into silver IRAs, and silver went from $22 to $48.92. And those returned 111%, which gained back everything they lost in relationship to that 35 to 65% deficit, plus a bunch, which is the same situation what will happen right now with the folks that would in at like $15, because there's a good amount of them. And so it's just one of those things where there is no get rich quick scheme. Anybody that tells you that there is blowing smoke. But in terms of the realities of investment, there's paper assets, there's hard assets. And the question is, which do you sleep well with? Can you sleep well? Like you were saying, you were concerned about the up and down of the stock market.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster ride.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whereas like there's stability in relationship to precious metals. There's growth in relationship to precious metals. I remember when I first opened Transworld Metals, silver was at $225 an ounce.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. That's insane.
Gold was at a couple $100, and so look at the growth factor there, and it's going to continue to do that as time goes on. That's where like the Goldbacks have come into play. And we're the only dealer in the state of Hawaii for Goldbacks.
Nice. That's beautiful.
Which are the new currency that has a polymer that within the polymers that make up these Goldbacks, there is 24 karat gold. And they're like, say, in 5 states. And Florida is also now joining the ranks of, they'll be the 6th state with Goldbacks.
And investors are buying gold and silver, and they're like, hey, give me some Goldbacks. We had a guy reach out to us. He just wants to buy some Goldbacks. So it's interesting what alternative investments are doing for investors, as far as just giving you an option outside of a traditional like stock account or or like a CD or annuity. Yeah, so it's interesting with the Goldbacks.
So if you're listening on the radio, 100.5 FM on Voice of Kona Radio, he just showed us some of the Goldbacks that they have, and they're just absolutely beautiful. I actually have some as well. And it's just it's an easier use. They're not these big, coins, which aren't even that big, but it's something that you can just carry it in your wallet and feel secure with that. So again, if there's anything last you guys want to share, this is fantastic. If you guys are watching right now on the YouTube or on Rumble, you can find them at transworldmetallsltd.com. And then Justin, give us your phone number again.
310 499-8611. You could give us a shout, and we'd be happy to help. You could also find us on Instagram at Transworld Metals. We also have HawaiianArtandGallery.com, which was a platform we're creating for artists. We're artists ourselves, so it's a passion project we've been working on, and we've got some phenomenal artists backing us. So between the metals and the art, it's been some good times. It hasn't been easy. There's been a lot of challenges, dealt with setbacks, but for the most part, we just onward and upward, and we just overcome. And like the tortoise and the hare, we have a good visual and a good vision. We just put one foot in front of the other, slow and steady wins the race. And it's been a fun ride. And I've only got about 4 years into this because Dad asked me to help out with the COVID when the COVID happened, because our phone number was listed on the United States Mint website, and everybody started calling us looking for safety and protection. So yeah, it's been a fun ride with Dad, and Dad's been doing this for a long time, and it's been a fun ride.
That's fantastic. So I do want to ask, how do you guys get paid with this? When people come to you and buy silver or buy gold, how does Transworld Metals get paid?
Basically, what we have is a brokerage fee for the purchase of the metals. So in other words, it's nobody trades anywhere in the world at spot price. So when you see spot price on TV, it's basically the price that is for a given day, but it's one of those things where whether it's the U.S. Mint or whether it's any bullion house in the United States or outside the United States, they have a bid and the ask. In other words, it's a spread that goes around spot price. If spot is, let's just say $30, okay? So they're selling at a price over $30, and they're buying back at a price less than $30. So that's their spread. And so we're in a situation where we're broker dealers, and so we're merely just charging a brokerage fee above spot price. And we've got basically one of the lowest brokerage fees in the country. So from that standpoint, we're helping clients in that respect, and we can match or beat any brokerage fee that's out there. So from that standpoint, our goal is to help people, okay? Help people out of the situation where they're stuck with paper assets, where they're stuck with only knowing one method of investing. That's all they know, okay? Because like that's all they ever learned. Like their parents, they grew up, they went to school, they got married, they bought a house, they bought stocks. And that's all they knew, and that's all their broker knows. So therefore, hey, what else do you know?
Mm-hmm.
And since you don't know anything, that's all you do. So our job is to educate folks in terms of alternative investment that actually protects them and gives them something for the future, something for their family, something for their legacy, something they can fall back on when everything else goes to hell in a handbasket. They actually have a tangible form of money. And these metals are money, just like the strategic metals are money, whether it be titanium or cadmium or cobalt or anything like that. It's a situation where people buy them for that protection, just having a hard asset, having something tangible, something real, something they can hold in their hand. And it's one of those things. There's a lot of folks that believe, you buy dirt, okay, because you can hold it in your hand, and you buy precious metals because you can hold them in your hand, okay, and you can pass this down. So it's just one of those things where you sleep at night knowing what you have.
That's absolutely true. All right. Anything else you guys want to share? And then we'll do a quick prayer. I always pray at the end of my shows.
Tell them about gold. One thing that I'd like to say is some of these big box retailers, anybody outside, like on the continental United States, if you look at what some of their brokerage fees are, some of these entities brokerage fees are like 15%. The ones that offer free metals, we laugh. We're actually the lowest brokerage fee in the precious metals industry. I believe we're at 9.75%.
Correct.
We're at a 9.75% brokerage fee over spot. There's no GE taxes on metals coming to Hawaii. So it's like, on one hand, for anybody out there listening, you know, would you like to pay GE tax on metals as like an add-on? Or would you like to avoid the GE tax on metals with no reporting? And some of our investors, they like the fact that it's anonymous. We don't report anything. Nothing we sell gets reported. It's not mentioned to anybody. If you guys decide to capitalize on profits and sell and tell anybody that you sold at a profit and you had gains, well, now that's your choice. But we're not going to do that, you know? So I've listened to some of these other entities. I mean, even my pest control guy for our properties here in Kona, the guy bought like $100,000 worth of gold, and the premium that he paid, he's like, "Oh, my wife did it." They were at like a 15% brokerage fee, and I told him, "Hey,"
And then they paid tax.
and then they paid GE tax, and he's
Oh
like,
my goodness.
when we started talking, he's like, "Man, I feel bad because if I had the option to not pay GE tax on 100 grand, I would have bought from you guys." So I was just like, I started calculating the numbers, and I was like, "Well, I don't be a bad guy, but I'm like, this is how much you pay to GE tax. It's up to you, man. You know, like, you want to pay more, you want to pay less, you know." So that's the nice thing about us. I've actually had some of our friends. We do a lot of business with Texas for gold. Their friends call us up and they're like, "How come you guys are charging less than 10% on your brokerage fee? You guys should be charging like closer to 15%." And we're like, "Well, we don't have to. We're here to help people."
Some are
You
as high
know?
as 22%.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
So for the people out there listening, you know, take that in consideration. What premiums are you paying over spot? GE taxes? Is it being reported? You know, the choice is yours, you know, as far as for that. Some of the investors that I've dealt with here, specifically on Oahu, Maui, the Big Island, even Molokai. I mean, we've delivered Goldbacks and metals to Molokai. They just want to keep their money in Hawaii. They want to deal with somebody local. You know, some investors want to meet with us. You know, a lot of the times we're really busy, but you know, we could figure something out. I mean, we've actually done investor meetings, you know, at like the old King Cam hotel on Elite Drive, you know, so that has been interesting. We have a marketing campaign on Maui with the Maui News where we're running an ad there. And then we have a print partnership with Kona Coast Magazine as far as for a year contract. So we're advertising through Kona Coast Magazine. They reached out to us. They want to do an editorial, a photo shoot. They want to talk and highlight what's going on for gold and silver. So, yeah, for the folks out there listening, just keep that in mind, you know, as far as when you're looking at the numbers, when you're looking at your due diligence, when you're looking at the bottom line, you know, and that's where we're just trying to help people, you know, and if we wanted to, we could have raised our brokerage fees a long time ago, you know, but why?
Yeah,
You know?
we basically gain trust the old-fashioned way. We earn it, and there's a big difference in that in terms of like some of these guys, okay, that say, "Oh, okay, we're going to give you free silver," okay, but that there is no free silver, there is no free lunch, and if you believe it, like there's somebody's going to try and sell you swampland in Florida. But the fact of the matter is their fees are so high,
Yeah. I
or
have to
they're
tell you a story around that too, because when I first bought silver before, I think it was a year or two before I met you guys, I got shafted. I mean, I couldn't believe the amount. I can't remember what it was right now, but I remember I was like, "What?" Like I bought it, and literally, I was in a negative because of what I had paid for it. I mean, it was really high. And then when I met you guys, and then found out that there was no taxes on it, and I was elated. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining this show. And if you guys are watching, again, transworldmetalsltd.com. Let them know you found them on Blossom Inner Wellness video from YouTube or Rumble, or on the Voice of Kona Radio. as well. Really appreciate that. And I just want to say so much mahalo for joining me, you guys. You're definitely helping people. I'm going to be buying more silver from you. I buy the silver, and I've enjoyed it. And I have different rounds with the Eagles and the different coinage that I've joined that I have. I really enjoy it. So mahalo so much.
That's another thing. In other words,
Thanks, Michelle.
what we provide is brand new. It's coming directly from a mint. We can get older stuff. Like if somebody, like we just had somebody in Las Vegas that sent $100,000 to get pre-33 gold St. Gaudens 1 ounces. And so that's no problem in terms of finding anything that somebody wants. But generally, anything that we provide is brand new from whether they're, depending on what mint it's from. And
Yeah.
so I want to thank you for taking your time to help us. I want to thank anybody out there who's listening. God bless, and y'all
Yeah.
have aloha day.
Yes, if you're worried about your retirement, if it's in paper money, get it into precious metals. That's I can't do financial advice, but that's my input around it. Not legally, I can't tell people what to do as far as finances go. But let's go ahead and pray. Infinite intelligence of all things, great spirit. You are running the show here, and we know that this game that we're in is really coming to a head. There's been so many attacks on the people of America and on the people of the world, with the attack in Lahaina and the attack in Asheville. And we just know, Great Spirit, that these people are being taken care of. We don't know how, but we do trust you, Great Spirit, that there are angels and guides and light warriors who are going in, rescuers who are going in to help people all over the world who have been traumatized and who have been attacked. And we just send them so much strength and so much mahalo and aloha from here, from the Hawaii Islands right now. And we also give so much gratitude for Bill and his son Justin and Transworld Metals. We give so much gratitude for all the people that they've supported and all the times that they've helped people take their retirement and put it into something that has more value. And we just know, Great Spirit, that we get to watch as things unfold in the world where people are taken care of, and where those who do not value human life and do not value human freedom, that they are peaceably removed from office or even taken away in handcuffs, but their power is over. And we bind anybody who does not value human life. We bind them from doing any more harm to innocent people. We ask right now, and we give so much gratitude that any weapons of destruction or harm on people, that they no longer work, and that the soldiers that are around the world, that their hearts are touched with you, Great Spirit, with the love of infinite intelligence, and that they choose to put down their weapons, and we all come into peace. We call that forth now, Great Spirit. And we know that as we move forward in these uncertain times right now with the election and what's coming in the future, that we know that we're always taken care of, and we trust our hearts and we trust our inner guidance, that we always know what to do. And we trust in you, Great Spirit, the source of love, the source of where we came from and where we will return to. We know that we are always taken care of. And so it is. So much mahalo to you, Justin and Bill, for joining, and I will be talking with you guys soon, because I'll be buying some more of my silver, which I love. So much mahalo. Aloha.
Mahalo plenty to you.
Thank you so much. And everybody listening, light and love to one and all. You know, kindness is magic.
Yes, absolutely. I love that one.